Today in the Nerdy Gritty, Animal Crossing New Horizons has arrived, and its multiplayer functionality has led some to review bomb it on the internet. As co-op crossers ourselves, what do we think?
One more world disappears inside it. Just another hopeless addict. Well, they make some man instead. If the drums don't get you, the guitars will.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I'm your fellow villager Fox.
And I am deeply indebted to Tom Nook Dez.
Deeply indebted Dez. I like that. It's good. That's
Thanks.
good.
Fox. Okay.
You are building up what we're talking about right now.
This to me, okay.
I don't know what it is, but I'm excited.
What would you say is probably the game of the past 5 years?
Of the past 5 years?
Yeah, like the game that would probably not in like bestly made like God of War or something like that. I mean, one that kind of defines gaming.
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Absolutely.
Fortnite is in terms of importance almost equal to Minecraft of the last decade.
Wholeheartedly.
Maybe. Yeah. Huge.
What if I told you that Epic has decided to become a third-party publisher to compete with Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo?
Okay. Well, I've seen something about that. I didn't really look into details on it, though.
So Fortnite is opened Epic Games, or something. Fortnite. Epic has opened Epic Games Publishing, a new multi-platform publishing effort with a developer-first approach.
Okay.
Get this. This is what, to me, this is like, holy crap, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Epic is setting up, this is an article on Business Insider, by the way.
Ooh, sounds official.
Yeah. Epic is setting some standards up front with its publishing division, standards that they're sure to shake up industry precedents. Full creative freedom and ownership. Developers retain 100% of all intellectual property and full creative control of their work.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is coming from Epic.
This is Epic.
Part of me thinks that might be like damage control because people don't like Epic because they try to do, hey, exclusive content, whatever, that, people don't like on their thing. Interesting.
Fully funded projects. Epic Games Publishing will cover up to 100% of development costs, from developer salaries to go-to-market expenses such as QA, localization, marketing, and publishing costs.
Wow.
50-50 profit sharing.
What?
Developers earn a fair share of their work. Once costs are recouped, developers earn at least 50% of all profits.
Seems fair based on my limited knowledge.
Right, absolutely. To me,
I mean, more than fair.
This
as far as the whole thing
immediately,
goes.
If you're an indie developer, you want to go Epic now.
That yes, there might be fine print that we're not aware of.
Of course.
Based on those general guidelines, yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And so at that point, who is going to get all the best indie games? Who's going to get the next Celeste? Who's going to get the next Undertale? Who's going to get these, like, not literally the next one of those games,
sure.
the next huge hit like that?
Interesting, man. That's crazy, because also, what if I'm remembering it correctly, it doesn't mean they even have to be Epic exclusives. If the developer retains 100% of the rights, then they could also put it on Steam.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's off.
Or maybe it just means that they retain
creative control. Yeah, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's crazy.
When Microsoft bought like Ninja Theory and a few other Double Fine, things like that, I thought that was awesome.
Right.
That's really cool. Good. These are really great.
They're looking to put some stuff out there.
Yeah, and these are really great indie developers that now have some big money backing to do their really good things. And Senua's Saga looks incredible.
It looks, man, that I think about that trailer every once in a while.
Too.
Just her anger, and also the Heilung song. That's so good. That's a great band. Go listen to Heilung.
But
Heilung, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, whatever. But the bottom line is Epic Games is absolutely setting a new precedent here.
They are.
For as long as you can remember, what has been the, like, you were looking for this thing in survival in Minecraft. Like, this is the
thing I'm trying to find?
Yeah.
I mean, typically it's diamonds.
Right, diamonds. They're the strongest, but no longer, my friend.
Is it netherite now?
Netherite.
Okay.
There is a new update that has updated the nether in a lot of different ways.
Right.
Now, I don't know. To me, this almost sounds like there's been some sort of copyright issue, but zombie pigmen no longer exist in the Nether. They've been taken out altogether.
Okay. I've never been to the Nether, so
piglins, which are pretty much the same thing, but they look a little bit different.
Huh.
But either way, so there are piglins in the Nether now. There are now Nether biomes. There are Nether forests.
Interesting.
Yeah, which are creepy looking and weird and glowing blue and whatnot. But there's also netherite.
You know what the Winchester Mystery House is, right?
I love it.
I know you know what it is. You've talked about it
Yeah, that's
before.
one of my bucket list things.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go.
There was a movie about it that came out a couple years ago that was terrible, called Winchester. And it's just trying to, so, okay. Give us a quick description of what the Winchester Mystery House
Absolutely.
is.
So, Winchester, talking about the gun,
manufacturer, the company.
So, a lot of people blamed the Winchester husband. I don't remember his first name. For all the deaths that the Winchesters caused, that the Winchester guns caused in the West. And when he passed, the wife was wildly superstitious, insanely superstitious. And she thought that the ghosts of everybody who died from a Winchester gun were coming to haunt her. And so she brought in fortune tellers galore, all this other stuff. And of course, in my opinion, so they can make money, all of them were like, oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
You better keep. So one of the things they recommended was, you know what? Confuse the ghosts.
Yeah.
They're going to be here to haunt you. So she built this massive mansion of doors that lead nowhere, stairs that go nowhere,
hallways that
just
dead ends
and things like that. And like when I say stairs that go nowhere, I mean like stairs go up and it's just ceiling there. And there's not like, it doesn't actually go anywhere. Door that you open and it's a wall behind it.
Yeah.
And just weird, freaky things like that.
Right.
The house now, and now it's said that she haunts the place, of course. The house itself is creepier than any of, I don't believe in ghosts, so any of the ghost stories that go on there.
Sure. It's not somewhere I want to go.
No.
You do. I don't want to.
I really do. It's a creepy place, though.
If I happen to be around there, I probably would, but I'm never going to specifically go to this place. So here's a few details. The house was under construction constantly from 1884 to 1922.
Yep.
Some say without interruption for 24 hours a day until Sarah Winchester's death in September of 1922. Before the 1996 earthquake, it was 7 stories high. Now it's only 4. There are 1,616 rooms, including 40 bedrooms, 2 ballrooms, 47 fireplaces, 2 basement, and 3 elevators, and is made out of a variety of materials, some more unusual than others. So I bring this up because during this time of quarantine, during this time of, stay at home, shelter in place, this is in California, if I'm not mistaken. San Jose, California, where they also have a shelter in place order like we do here in Oregon. You can now take a virtual tour of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, this is something you should do. You should record.
Yes.
Yeah, put it on our channel, but it's a 40-minute video tour of the property.
So for weeks upon weeks, I had been reading a certain book series, and I mentioned
which is it?
I mentioned whatever book I was reading that week, and you finally told me we can't talk about it anymore.
Oh, different one. Okay, not Witcher.
No, not The Witcher.
You're talking about
this is the Dresden Files.
The Dresden Files, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
This Dresden Files a while back had a release date for its next book, Peace Talks. And I've been really excited about that.
Yep.
And also a really bad trailer came out for it. It's like an actual video trailer.
Ooh.
And the actors
are a book?
Like the actor, to call them C-list actors would be rude.
Oh,
C-list
actors. Oh man, okay.
I don't want to throw shade at the actors. A lot of it, of course, is also the editing quality and everything like that.
Sure,
but it looks like if daytime TV soap opera B-stringers
sounds great
tried to make an Avengers trailer from their home.
This isn't supposed to be the last one, right?
No.
Okay, it's still gonna go.
But news just came out,
right, that
2 months later, the next book called Battlegrounds will be coming out.
Wait, 2 months after? Wow.
Yes. 2 months after Peace Talks, Battleground will release.
Interesting.
The next book.
Another full length?
Another full length.
Weird.
Now, here's my thought on this. There were already rumors in the Dresden community for a while that this was going to be by far the longest book.
Okay.
Usually they're 300 to 500 pages, around 400. This one talks were about 800 pages.
Wow.
Yeah. He also, and this was never a hard confirmed thing, But he said a couple of times he'd like to do about 21 books in the Dresden Files. Part of me wonders if he had this 800-page book and he's like, what if I split it in half?
Cut it in half and call it a day.
And I get an extra book out of this.
Yeah. So let's jump into just kind of what we've been up to this week. It's actually only been 4 days since we last recorded a podcast.
Right.
So this might be a little shorter than usual, but what you been doing?
Not much. The unfortunate reality for me is that my wife is still working during all this. In fact,
a lot.
She's putting in extra hours.
Unfortunately,
which means that I'm home with the kids all the time.
Yeah, those dang stupid kids.
Yeah, gosh. I don't have a lot of time to do my own thing. But when my wife has free time, her and I, and this is something I talked about months ago, but I'm doing it again with my wife now, going through the Infinity Saga. This time
going back through it again.
Yeah.
With my
your
wife though.
And the reality of the matter is I don't remember it from before because I was
so hopped up.
I was so drugged up.
That's amazing.
I also have been watching Dan Floyd go through the Kingdom Hearts 3 Limit Cut episode.
Oh yeah.
Which is the part of the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC I did not do.
Oh, okay.
It is the intensely difficult boss fights.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't do it. So glad.
Yeah.
It is, imagine Dark Souls difficulty bosses where you have to very much plan out every move and everything at Kingdom Hearts speed and spectacle.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is fast.
Very fast.
For me, it's been kind of demo season lately.
Yeah.
We played a lot from the Spring Game Festival and on Steam, which I realized the same day last time that we recorded when I got home, I was like, oh, I forgot one. I played another demo on there, and I wanted to shout this out because it was very interesting. It's called Duster.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's essentially a roguelike RPG, I guess. That's such a broad term. It reminded me a lot of do you ever play FTL? The roguelike on Steam, the very beloved. It's really fun. If you like that genre, that style of gameplay, it's incredible. You'll put thousands of hours into it. I've put a couple of 10 or 12 hours into it. It's fun. This reminded me of that, where essentially you have a map of like branching options, which is similar to, I think in Slay the Spire has this, where you can kind of make choices on where to go, and then each one, like where you go, has a different.
You want to talk about Slay the Spire? Let's talk about Slay the Spire.
No, not again. No, different, and each one has a different, like, encounter that you might do. Sometimes it's just like a shop. Sometimes it's, you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes it's just going to be a fight or something like that. This one definitely was a demo. You could tell it was still in the works.
Yeah.
And it just reminded, like, I think I needed more explanation a little more specific, like, hey, what should I be doing right now? I played the Resident Evil 3 demo.
Yeah.
And I don't think I talked about it on the Nerdy Gritty. So what stuck out to me, it's basically an hour long ish. Stuck out to me is how similar it felt to Resident Evil 2, which is fine.
Yeah.
So the remake, that is, because I'm sure Resident Evil 2 and 3 when they came out were very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, sure. Here's my problem with what happened with the demo. And it's not with the gameplay, I guess, but it's that I got maybe 50 to 55 minutes into it and was doing pretty well. And then at one point I pressed the pause menu and then like to do something settings wise, and then unpaused, and then it immediately repaused itself. And then it just kept doing that over and over. Basically, something glitched out and I was unable to unpause the game for longer than 0.1 seconds. Have you ever heard of Trails of Cold Steel?
No.
It's a JRPG series. Trails of Cold Steel 3 is coming out. And this demo was weird. It's like, as far as the combat okay. I installed it and started, and it throws you kind of in media res, like, midway through the story-ish.
Right.
And you're like, okay, cool. I don't know really what's happening right now, but I'll do this combat. But it also tells you nothing about how the combat works.
Oh.
And this is a deep, like, lots multi-system combat. So it throws you right in the middle of combat. And it was simple enough. Like, I'm a JRPG fan enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I get what these generally are. And so I actually was doing really well, and I beat the boss right there. And then it says 3 months earlier. And then, I kid you not, it's legit like 45 minutes of visual novel. And I sat there for like 25 minutes was like, when are we going to play the game?
Well, you ready to get on the nerdy gritty?
I am. That was the quickest we've gotten to the nerdy gritty in a while.
And
we're still 36 minutes.
Yeah,
almost. Yeah. So, let's jump into the nerdy gritty.
Version short. Add. Yeah, before that it might have sounded kind of like this because what you just heard was the short version of our podcast. That means that our general talk beforehand is edited down. If you want to hear our director's cut, which we talk about a lot of things in extent, all the stuff that we've been up to and whatnot for a while, you can actually head over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/dezandfox and subscribe to our second or third tier, become the second or third tier patron. All of that stuff is included with the long podcast and Patreon exclusive content and things like that is all there for you. Even at the first tier, you get all of our Patreon exclusive content like bonus episodes or early episodes, all kinds of cool things like that. But we also understand that sometimes you can't do these things. If that's the case with you, we just appreciate when you like and share and support us in whatever way you can. Thanks for listening, guys.
So we have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing.
We have, yes.
I did not expect to like it. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, very chill. And we've been playing the co-op. It's the first time that Animal Crossing has had co-op in this way.
And
it's been interesting.
It's been an interesting experience, for sure.
In fact, it's been an interesting experience to the point that other people are struggling as well. And on Metacritic, people have been review bombing Animal Crossing New Horizons because of its multiplayer issues. So Fox and I were thinking to ourselves, okay, we have also been struggling with a lot of the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then as somebody who shares game systems in his family, I could definitely see very much some of the struggles here. So we were going to talk about this for a while here, but right off the bat, let's go. We talked about this literally years ago. So let's go over this a little bit again. Fox, what are your thoughts on review bombing in general?
I'm generally not a fan. I completely understand, and I think there are some... You know what? Actually, I won't say that. Review bombing usually refers to the act of specifically trying to bring down the score of something.
Right.
And it, to me, means that it's a dishonest review in some way. It's usually more of a meta thing.
Right.
I don't like Square Enix right now because they did something stupid that I don't like, so I'm going to review bomb Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is just published by them and is actually a pretty good game.
Right.
If you like that series. And so it's like punishing a developer for, in that instance, it was punishing a developer for the actions of the unrelated actions of a publisher. And so, but yeah, generally I don't like review bombing because it's not for the actual purposes of reviewing the gameplay of something.
And I land a little bit more in favor of it. I'd say I'm not in favor of it in general, but I'd say that it definitely has its place. If you are going to review bomb something, or if you're going to try and talk to a company, usually you talk with your money, but if you're review bombing it, you've already spent your money.
You've already bought it. Yeah.
And so to me, this is a way that we as the consumer can post-purchase communicate back to them, because a lot of the major companies aren't going to read every single, in fact, most of the major companies aren't going to read every single review. So
sure,
getting a group of people to review bomb turns attention to that, and other people start steering away from it, and then it does start hitting that bottom line. It's still, I agree with Fox, so it's also a dishonest review. If there were other ways to do it, that'd be great.
Sure.
There's also the idea that sometimes you're punishing the wrong people.
Right.
You know, doing it for the right reasons and in the right way. In this case, though, I am for what's going on.
This one I understand a whole lot more than some others that we've seen in the past.
Yeah. So let's explain exactly what the issues are and what's going on, and then we can talk about some of our issues. So in Animal Crossing...
I've got a lot of issues, though, so it's going to take a while.
So it all started with my dad.
Yep.
In Animal Crossing New Horizons, when you put the cartridge into your Switch, whoever is playing it creates an island.
When you create that island, yes.
Yeah, when you create that island. From that point forward, that is the only island on that console, no matter who it is, no matter what's going on. I would guess, unless you can delete all the old save files and start from scratch, but then everything would go away. But only one island at a time exists on this. Now, this means that, like in my situation, the Switch is my console. I keep it in my office and nobody else plays it but me. But if this were like my PS4 and it were out in the family room for everybody to play,
right,
this would mean that myself, my 9-year-old, my 7-year-old, and my 5-year-old would all be sharing this island. And on top of that, what things that we do would impact each other's stuff. Now, and here's the most frustrating part to me, and stuff that you and I have kind of experienced, is that if, let's say I were playing it and I got Nook's Cranny, the shop, and it opened up and there was some sort of celebration, the other people in my home would never see that. They would just turn on the console one day and Nook's Cranny would just be there.
It would be there.
And they saw none of the process. They got to do none of what's going on with that. Or let's say that I would turn on the console one day and all of a sudden there are 3 new people on my island.
Right, new
villagers. And I don't know where they came from or how it happened. Oh, it's because other people took care of that.
Yeah.
There are events that happen on the island that only one person can do.
Right.
So
that's the major issue. And to clarify, this means because your save data is saved to the system,
right,
not to the cartridge, even using 2 different Animal Crossing New Horizons cartridges would not change it.
You would need new consoles.
You would still play on the same island. It's basically a $300 price tag for every island.
Right.
Because you'd have to buy a new system.
And Tom Nook is over there like...
Right. So I think it's very understandable that people are disappointed by this.
Yes.
We knew this was going to be what the deal was before it came out. This was announced a long time ago. But it doesn't make it any less frustrating to play.
I would say that, I remember the news saying that there would be one island and that we would share in the things happening. I didn't know that it would mean, like, to me at least, it was never clear that it would mean that, okay, we need to build Nook's Cranny. You get to give the supplies when you're playing, and I get to give the supplies when I'm playing. A lot more
coordination.
Yeah, and things like that, where we all feel like we're involved. Or maybe it even just says each island member needs to bring X amount of stuff.
Sure, yeah. There's a lot of... let's talk about like maybe some fixes or solutions we can get to at some point later. But so this is the review bomb problem. I have an article pulled up here on Nintendo Life. So it's got a 91 on Metacritic as of whenever this was written, which was Tuesday, so 2 days ago. 91 on Metacritic for the critic score and a 6.5 user score. It might be lower now. Let me look that up real quick. But a lot of people are giving it basically a 0 out of 10 because they're having trouble. That a lot of people purchased the game specifically to play with family.
Right.
Or it's for their kids to play, and this is causing issues with kids.
Yes.
It's now it's a 6.2 now on Metacritic. And so let me read some of the reviews. This is specifically what NintendoLife.com has selected. If you have more than one person in your home that wants to play the game, you need 2 Switches. Worst decision I've ever seen. This even beats EA. Congratulations, Nintendo. You have officially become the worst video game company this year.
Calm down.
We can talk about the bot to play with the wife. While it is possible we can't have our own islands. After research, Nintendo has apparently locked each Switch console to one island each. From now on, we'll stick with our PS4. At least Sony respects its customers. The limitation of one island per Switch, not per cartridge, per Switch, is nonsensical. It's obvious Nintendo is just trying to sell more Switch consoles. Sorry, this is an instant 0 out of 10. There are other things, of course, that people have a problem with. But that to me, here's one quote they brought up. The objectives of the game are not clear. There are multiple tasks, but none lead to a greater objective, or at least I did not see any interesting narrative that was spun in the background. It's sad and embarrassing that having superior hardware such as a Nintendo Switch, the developer has opted for the annoying world in perspective of roller, and I don't agree with that right there. That might even just say I've never played an Animal Crossing.
That doesn't sound like he knows what Animal Crossing
There's
is.
never really been a narrative to Animal Crossing. It's a slice of life simulator kind of thing. But so those are some of the quotes that people have issues with. It's actually only at a 6.2, which for a review bomb, that's actually not very low, which kind of shows there are lots of people who still like it.
Here's exactly, and this is why I'm kind of on the side of the review bombers here. In fact, why I would almost agree with the 0 out of 10. And here's the example I'll make. You go to a sandwich shop and they make very good sandwiches. They've made incredible sandwiches for years. And they put together an incredible sandwich for you, and then they put one drop of crap on it, just a little bit of poop right in the middle of that sandwich, and they pass it over to you.
So they made it exactly how
a great sandwich.
I asked.
Yeah, that's it. And so 99.9% of that sandwich is fantastic.
Sure,
but they made it inedible.
Sure,
and it doesn't matter how good the quality of the rest of that sandwich is. Because of that one bit of it, it has ruined the entire part of it and is therefore an inedible sandwich.
I understand.
0 out of 10 sandwich.
For the sandwich metaphor, nobody wants to eat that, except for some people maybe. You know, not going to get into that. But with Animal Crossing, yes, I can see like somebody bought it to play for their kids, like and like I will use your kids as an example. And you can correct me if I'm misrepresenting them, but if all three of them wanted to jump on and do all the things and found out they couldn't, that would cause arguments and fights amongst your children.
Yes.
I wanted to...
Including me. I would be upset. You're laughing.
How dare you, child?
We have Minecraft world, and there's Daddy's world and Braxton's world, things like that. And there are times that I jump into my world and some things are changed. Now, it's Minecraft. I can change it back.
Yeah.
But it still upsets me. I'm like, hey, guys, this is my project that I'm working on, and you've changed it.
It's a real... Yeah, it's almost kind of changed. Like, there's the idea of griefing. And now it's like just progressing in the game is now griefing.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. I wanted to do that. And so that's a real issue. I can 100% agree if that's specifically what you purchased it for was to play with your family and you have a Switch console like a family should. Generally should have just one.
Yes.
You know, you can have more than one, I understand, whatever. But just having one Switch, that's understandable. They're $300 or a Switch Lite $200, whatever. And so... absolutely, if that's when you went to the store saying, this is what we're going to do with it, I would take issue with you just didn't do the research then, because this information was readily available months before it came out.
I don't think it was clear, though. Like, I think...
we always knew you could only have one island. Maybe it didn't go into the details about what that meant for the gameplay, but it's not like they lied.
No, I mean... not like they lied. You sound like a politician there. Like, I told the truth. It didn't come out exactly like you expected, but it's what I said.
No, okay. Sure. There's a difference though between, and I hate to keep using this metaphor sometimes or this example, but when No Man's Sky came out, and they said, "Hey, we have multiplayer," and there wasn't. That's a lie. Saying, "Hey, there's one island. You can only have one island per Switch." And that resulting in that island only being able to do each progression thing once. Obviously, it's not like they're like, that's just how the game is played. So, like, you can be disappointed to a certain extent, but you can't accuse Nintendo of being deceitful in their marketing.
I wouldn't say, and I wouldn't say they were deceitful. I'd say that they were not as communicative as they should have been.
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that. Yeah.
And you're right. They said it's going to be one island per Switch. You're going to share your island. You know what? If that island was 4 times the size of the islands that we get, that'd be really, really nice. And that would be a whole lot better. Or if it was the same island that we share, but when, and I'm going to use my kids as an example, when Braxton builds Nook's Cranny, it doesn't show up when I turn it on. And now I can build Nook's Cranny on that island. And Braxton can use it as much as he wants when he's playing under his tab.
Okay.
Or if I play with Braxton.
So the island would look different, whoever's playing, and maybe whoever's the leader when you're doing multiplayer?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, or something like that. Like, to me, there were 100,000 different ways that one island would have been fine.
So it'd be an instanced kind of thing.
Whatever
the leader's island looks like. It's the same structure of the island, but it just changes depending. Right. Okay.
And again, at that point, and then we're using the term leader because that's the gameplay as it is now. It didn't have to be exactly that way.
Sure.
Whatever it is, my point is that there could have been one island. Nintendo did communicate one island pretty clearly. there could have been one island in 100 different ways that's not this way that would have been way better than this way.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that. We don't know we talk about how we have to cut developers slack sometimes. Conceptually. We don't know hardware limitations.
Right.
We don't know.
Fair.
Yeah. So we can't say you're obviously, I don't like these accusations of Nintendo's just a greedy company trying to sell more Switches.
I don't agree with that either.
I mean, that is one way you could interpret it, but that's not Nintendo's jam. Nintendo has always been a customer oriented company and want and make stuff for the fans.
I want to get into our issues that we had and kind of because you guys are going to hear this podcast long before we catch up with our episodes.
Yes.
So we're recording this after
we got a couple weeks more episodes
like
to
you're
come
gonna get
out.
to April 8th before we've actually recorded this podcast.
Right.
Anyway, all this to say, we're changing the way that we're playing Animal Crossing.
We are. This is directly affecting
So
us.
before we get into that, though, here's what I want to say I actually think is happening. I think that Nintendo didn't expect multiplayer to be as big of a deal as it is. I thought they were like, you know what? Let's let them play together. Let's let them share an island. Cool. Here's a way to do that. Cool.
Sure.
And that was it. And then it ends right there.
Right.
But it turned out that people were really looking forward to it and really wanted to play this multiplayer and this co-op. And because it wasn't QA'd that much, or it wasn't as focused on as much, again, conceptually, this is me guessing here, because of whatever reason, it's failing in it. And I'm going to be honest, I will say from my perspective, it's failing in its multiplayer.
It's disappointing.
Yes.
Animal Crossing in the past has had multiplayer, but it's always been I'll invite you to my island and we can run around on my island.
And I've done that. I went to a friend of ours, D-Rock. I went to his island.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he had cherries, and he gave me some cherries that I brought back to our island, and I planted. And I looked around, and he's a few days behind us, but he had some really good stuff.
Sure.
And then I flew him to our island, and I showed him around, and we've got some stuff going on.
Quick question: does it cost anything to bring like other players to you? Okay, cool.
No.
That's good.
Yeah, and I showed him our museum because he doesn't have a museum yet.
Oh, what a noob.
So I took him. He's really into Jurassic Park, so I specifically showed him the fossil area.
I'm excited when I do my own island on my Switch to have a very specific theme I want my island to go after, and like to get all the items and everything to go after that.
Oh, by the way, I found a T-Rex skull, and it's in our.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Dinosaurs is a really good island theme to go for. Dinosaurs.
His island, Ila Nublar.
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay.
He's a big
I don't want to
Jurassic Park
copy
fan.
that guy then.
But that was really fun, and that was great. Great multiplayer. I couldn't do it. It wouldn't even let me access my shovel or my axe or anything like that on his island, and that's fine. He doesn't want me. They don't want me messing with his island. Sure, I understand.
Sure, I understand to a certain extent. Let's get into what our issues are.
Okay.
With how the multiplayer actually works, aside from the general kind of glaring issues that we talked about, just in the day-to-day, what are our issues with how we play?
Yes. So there are quality of life issues galore in this. So if you want to play co-op, it's local co-op, which is what Fox and I, that was our thing.
We play. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's on our channel right now. Go watch
20
it.
episodes in.
We've been having fun, but we do have issues.
Yes. Yeah, and that's, I want to be very clear with that. We have been having fun.
Yes.
If we didn't like it, we'd play 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But so quality of life is simple things like whoever is the leader is the only one that can do things.
To a certain, pretty much. Only one that can look at their inventory, the only one who can talk to others, the only one who can enter in buildings, pick up items and have them, and it wouldn't matter because you can't look at your inventory anyway. So, yeah, that's a huge issue for me.
And this became glaringly frustrating for me in I would play off screen just to kind of progress our world to a point that the next time we turned it on, things would happen. But our goal was for you to be in charge. That way you could catch up to me every time. Right. If I started things happening, but then you took control, those things would not happen.
So specifically, a big thing was getting other villagers to our island.
Yes.
You went to islands, invited them to come to our place, and then when we jumped in, when we were playing together and I loaded it up, there was no sign that you had ever done that. The
Right.
things like we looked up guides and all that, and it said this should happen, and it wasn't.
It just didn't happen.
And it didn't explain why. It was never like clarified. Oh no, you gotta play Dez to
Yeah.
And so it was just like, well, guess we'll collect more bugs, that
So
kind of thing.
We wandered around, had some fun, and then we got Fox to a point, and then I turned on the console later to play off screen.
Right.
And all the things
And
happened.
all of it had the deluge began.
Right. And so at that point, we missed those recordings.
Yes.
We missed those things happening on our channel up to that point.
Right.
And so now we're at a point in which there were so many things to do, Fox. Like, once they said, hey, these people are on their way, pick where they're going to live,
Yeah.
build custom
Crafting your
furniture.
village.
For each of these people, like, so many tasks that we could have done. It would have been so easy
Right.
for us to have goals every episode. But because it would not let you take care of things that I started, to me, that loses the point of a shared island.
It does. Yeah. They did not seemingly design the game to have a shared island.
Right. And,
As in at the same time.
and it goes back to my first point of saying, I just don't think they expected multiplayer to be as popular as they did.
Right.
I think they built a great game.
Yes.
I have a lot of fun playing it single player. In fact, you came today and said, I'd like Animal Crossing now, please. And I said, you're going to have to wait a day.
I didn't say it that way. Can you repeat it how I said it?
You said, Animal Crossing, please.
No. I said Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's true.
please.
Animal Crossing, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Please
I
represent
said-
me correctly.
And I said, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. Because my people are showing up today.
I don't
And
wanna.
I'm excited.
I
And
don't wanna.
So,
But okay, I will.
yeah. And so I'm enjoying it. It's a fun single player game.
Yeah.
It really, really is. But not only is the co-op and multiplayer not great, it's broken in some ways. It is straight up broken.
It really
in some
is.
ways.
And it just seems like I'm wondering how much of it's a first party title, of course.
Right.
But I'm wondering how much it seems like they underestimated just in general how much people wanted it.
Right.
The internet was a flame with especially when the whole quarantine thing started. People were like, that's all right. A lot of people on the internet were just like, I've got Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I'll just live that. I'll just live that life for now. And so, I mean, yeah, it felt like that they just underestimated how much people were looking forward to it. I don't think it's as niche as they expected it to be. Because Animal Crossing, like Stardew Valley, really great. It's a niche game. And
Yeah.
so not everybody wants to play it. And I think they kind of said, it seems as though they were like, well, Animal Crossing's similar. It's a slice of life game. It's got a much greater history, of course.
Yeah.
And people have always played it, but it's still a niche game. But not everybody wants to play Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And so it felt, what you're saying, that it felt like they just didn't test it as much in the certain ways that people are wanting to play it. Yeah.
I mean, it is a crisp, quality single player game.
It is. They have crafted a great game.
Yes.
It's got a 91. The whole I didn't really talk about this, but my issue with the whole like review bombing on this one specifically is I 100% understand if you bought it specifically for your family to play, and now your family can't really enjoy it as much as if they change it in these few ways.
Let me be clear, as a parent, not enjoy it at all.
Not-
I would turn around
Sure.
and get rid of the game. I would.
Okay, I understand. Yes. I have an issue with the instant 0 out of 10 sometime with some of these arguments or some of these explanations I talked to you about this a little bit. To me, it's strange to give a game like this a 0 out of 10 when your argument is I want to play it, but I can't really in the certain way that I want to. And so my metaphor for you, I talk about baseball because that's how if I got to get something through to you.
Oh, I'm listening.
I got to get to baseball.
Or Slay the Spire.
I got to get to, so imagine if you're slaying the spire on a baseball diamond.
Yes.
I'm on board for whatever you're saying. No, to me, okay, I think I explained it wrong. To me, it's more like my team really wants to play baseball, but there's another team that is also scheduled for the same time on our field, like our practice or whatever. I hate baseball now. That's essentially what it feels like. No, you don't. You just can't play it because there's conflict going on there. You hate how the actual mechanics or the system has set it up to be. You don't hate the game, though. And so saying Animal Crossing is a 0 out of 10 because of this, it's not. It's a quality game that's been given given some glaringly bad issues, but more in the quality of life rather than the actual gameplay aspect of it.
Let me change your metaphor because I think your metaphor is a little bit inaccurate.
All right.
We'll go with baseball again. You want to play baseball, and you can play baseball, and your team has played baseball for years, and you've loved playing baseball, and it's great.
Sure.
This year, they've decided whenever you step out on the field, 150,000 bees are released onto the field as well.
Right, and now one of your eyes is swollen shut, and you got to take some medicine.
By the way, total accidents the other day. I was shaking trees for sticks while holding my net, and wasps came out. And because I was spamming A already to get stuff,
you immediately
I caught the wasps.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
I didn't even know you could do that. Didn't even think about that. Anyway, wasps are released onto the field, and now
so it's just hard mode now.
I can't play. I want to play because I love the game so much.
You can. It's just not the full experience.
And it's a painful experience.
Well, no. Somebody if you were to start playing Animal Crossing in your family, and you were the one that brought the museum onto it, and you got to do the whole opening ceremony and all of that, and then your daughter got on and said, "Dang it, I can't do that." That's extremely disappointing. But it's not like they can't play Animal Crossing now. It's not like the game is unavailable to them.
You brought it up earlier, though. They would begin fighting. And,
sure.
And it would become a family issue.
And that's what I'm saying is I completely understand that. I completely understand saying this is why we bought it. We can't play it that way because of these systematic issues. And so I can't really, if I can't play it, then it has to be a 0, I guess.
That's why it goes back to my sandwich metaphor. My sandwich metaphor is it's 99.9% a delicious sandwich, but that one thing has made it inedible. Therefore, that sandwich you gave me is an inedible 0 out of 10 sandwich.
I suppose. Again, I don't think that's a little extreme, I think. Again, if Adez went on and to go onto the island, she couldn't open up the museum, but literally the rest of the game is still available to her. And so there's one part that's disappointing. I've tried the Doom Eternal multiplayer. It's not my jam, but that's one part of the full game.
And so you say the full game would still be available to her. It's not, though.
The rest of the game.
Because
she can still do Animal Crossing, but that part has been made unavailable because it is a shared island.
Let's say that I built the museum, and then after I built the museum, my son went out and went to the island and invited people, and now Braxton's not playing for a while for whatever reason. My oldest comes on, and she wants to do something. Everything before is already done.
Mm-hmm.
There's no museum to build or anything like that. Nook's Cranny, we'll say, is already built as well. And there's no way to progress forward either.
I mean, there's other things, but yeah.
Only Braxton can progress the story forward. Nobody else shows up until those people show up.
I guess
well.
that's true.
She's at a point that if Braxton doesn't choose to play for days,
that's fair, because when we were playing together
anything.
and I went to another island, it was just a boring desert island. There were no villagers to talk to. So that's fair. That was okay. I do more understand the point now. It is a great game, but multiplayer has pretty glaringly messed up.
Yes. It is a big issue.
Fix it, guys.
Yeah.
The easy fix is more than one island.
So absolutely. Easy fix more than one island. And that
should solve everything.
Yeah. It really, really should. And it shouldn't be that difficult to do either. I don't know, though.
I don't know.
But I can't imagine that it'd be that difficult to do.
I also would accept... Well, I mean, different argument. When we play co-op, I want to open my inventory and do things.
I want to be able to
understand
change
that being
leaders without going through 6 menus.
Yeah, and also quality of life thing. Let me turn off all the inherent... when I go talk to Blathers 15 times things to donate, I don't need to hear him say hello every single time, or you woke me up.
Yeah, you woke me up. I usually sleep during the night, so I'm sleeping during the day.
I was here 2 minutes ago, idiot. Yeah. Stay awake. Take some meth. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what the little Nook kids do.
That's what they do.
Nook do.
They're always up.
By the way, you call them Tanuki, but Tom Nook in the game specifically refers to himself as a raccoon.
I'm guessing that's localization.
Oh, yeah.
But he's Tom Nook. Tom Tanuki.
Wouldn't he be Nuke then?
Tom Duke Nukem. Tom Nukem.
He's here to take debts and chew bubble gum,
and he's all out of gum. You just have to craft some, though. It's
yes. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So Animal Crossing's multiplayer specifically has issues.
A lot of issues.
Things that seemingly could be patched.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do in the next month or two.
Yeah.
They just released there was a Nintendo Direct yesterday.
I just saw that.
Which they talked about
Animal
some updates,
Crossing.
not updates, but they talked about some events that are happening soon. And I'm hoping that they very soon patch some of this stuff.
They didn't mention. I already watched.
No, they didn't in the Direct.
Yeah.
No, I watched the Direct also. Quick aside, you can tell when they know that the next fighter they're adding to Ultimate to Smash Brothers, they know that it's not that great. When they're just
they
like,
just toss it out.
hey, it's gonna be somebody from ARMS.
Just so you know.
Okay, and like, great. Who cares, man? Like, don't. I understand it's their property; they want to get it out there, but
Right.
come on, guys.
That being said,
Shrek or nothing.
Here's the way that we're going to be moving forward in Animal Crossing.
Yes.
So, we have decided that I am gonna
redo.
I'm gonna play it for today, and then I'm
today
gonna give it to
only.
Fox. And then Fox is gonna take it home on his Switch. He's gonna start a brand new island.
Yep.
Exclusively single player, and he is going to play it up until just before he can fly places.
Right.
So you can build a shop if you want. You can build a museum if you want. You can do all kinds of great things. But just before he flies to islands, because we missed all of that too on our channel. And then he's going to start bringing his Switch to my house, and we're going to start recording episodes of just me watching him, exclusively that, of...
to be clear, I'm going to record my own thing.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm gonna have like a daily a diary, or like a video
cool.
diary or whatever. Like I've already done with Stardew Valley, but I haven't put up on our channel.
Haven't posted it yet. So we will still have Animal Crossing, and we are gonna go back. We're gonna be able to quote unquote go back and show you guys a lot of things that you missed.
Yes.
Because the multiplayer issues that were going on. Until then, know that you're actually not going to miss out on any Animal Crossing. We are pre-posted.
We've got lots up
for
there
a while of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So you'll still get to watch it, and then we'll just jump in on Fox's.
One real quick thing here. I know we're getting close to the end here, but it's also weird that there, as far as I can tell, so far, nothing that is specific to having more than one player on your island. There's nothing that we've done that's like, oh, cool, we can only do this because it's two of us.
Right.
So what's the point? Like, aside from just, hey, look at my stuff.
Yeah, multiplayer is exclusively a detriment, I've seen
It's
so far.
mostly just like, not much. There's nothing really. There's no benefits. There's no benefits to having another player. So that's weird.
It is. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for when you share this stuff, or when you talk about it, or when you like it, or whatever else. We want to say a big thank you to Granger for the use of our theme song, All My Friends Have Wi-Fi and Some of My Neighbors Do Too, off of their album Dear Sam. It is a fantastic track. It really is. Some real good music coming from there, so go check out Granger.
Yeah, also check out our YouTube channel. You might be listening to this on our channel already if you haven't seen everything else. We've got a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
My Doom Eternal playthrough is going on. I'm going to have Doom 64 coming up soon. I'm going to start playing that pretty soon. We've got Animal Crossing right now, New Horizons. We've got Pode, your playthrough.
I think
of
Pode either ended
that's
today
finished.
or yesterday.
Yeah, but that's you and your daughter playing a puzzler on the Switch. That's
and to
really
be clear,
great.
Ended today or yesterday as you're hearing this.
As you're hearing this.
Yeah, as you're hearing this, it will either have ended today or yesterday.
Great.
But then I will be posting the Backbone prologue,
Okay.
which is an indie game that's going to be coming out that I'm really excited for.
Sure.
And I'm going to take you guys through a run with the Watcher on Slay the Spire.
Oh, fun.
So, and then I'll jump into something else.
We've got the Steam Spring Game Festival demos. Those have been coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, Dez's are coming up. Mine will be coming up after his.
Yep.
And then I thought we had something. Oh, What the Golf. We're playing What the Golf also, which is a hilariously
much fun.
Just physics puzzler, essentially.
It is fun to the extent that this is essentially a mobile game. It's a mobile game that I am sitting and watching and loving every second of watching.
Yeah,
because
we talked about it a bunch on there, but every time you might get bored, it's like, nope, something new.
Yeah,
here's something new. You're not expecting it. Yeah, it's great.
Homage to other games out there. Things like
so
good.
I'm very excited to keep playing that. So we got a lot of stuff on our channel. You're probably spending time at home, a lot more time at home.
Yes.
So we got stuff for you. Every Monday we have a new episode of the Nerdy Gritty, and so plenty for us for you to feast on our channel.
Well, guys, thank you again. Always remember that save games, save lives.
Bye.
My voice sings all night.